What's up, guys, and welcome to this is episode number 13 now of our favorite as well as your favorite pro wrestling series right here in the SOS Wrestling Network. If you have not done so already, like, comment, smash the subscribe button. I'm your LK, joined by Dirty Uncle Dave's fave left-hand man, Brad. Brad, how are you doing this fine evening? And apologies of my lateness, I was at work.
No, it's cool, don't worry about it. I had a thought then. I was like, whoever thought we could make 13, but now that I said that, I don't want to be saying that at number 13, do I? Because that's going to jinx us. But yeah, whoever thought we would make it this well.
Whoever thought, yeah, as if we've done like 290 episodes of this show. We're on episode 13. No plans on stopping in any near future, so we're all good. Rocking and rolling here. We are reviewing the In Your House number 6, which was Rage in the Cage. And if you're new to this series, we don't just review the pay-per-views. We review WWF RAW, WCW Nitro, ECW Super Shows, as well as WWF pay-per-views, WCW pay-per-views, all in chronological order for you guys to follow along on the WWE Network. No affiliation at all, of course. Just that's how you can watch these bad boys. So win-loss ties, we do every show in the comments or on Twitter machine at LK Wrestling. Reach out. I'd give this show a tie because I'm feeling mighty generous because I have quite a few days off in the coming days. So I might be in a bit of a better mood. But man, this was ECW beat WWF in the February the 17th/18th. 100%. What was your thoughts on it? A win-loss tie.
I'd actually go with a strong tie too. Like, the ending was good. There was one good match on it. But it was obvious what the winner was. Even if I didn't know what the winner was, it's still obvious what the winner was. And other than that, this is like just building for Mania at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, which in the day is the kind of the go home pay per view to WrestleMania. WrestleMania used to take place in March, so we're on the way to WrestleMania, which is fun, which is all well and dandy. WrestleMania 12, obviously that being. But from the Louisville Garden, 5,500 fans, which was a sellout. Pay-per-view buys, because I don't know if it was new enough at the time for them to get the pay-per-view buys within the time period that Uncle Davey uploaded the Observer.
0.74.
Yep, which is the equivalent of 150,000 pay-per-view buys, which if you consider Survivor Series 95 only did 125,000. It's actually not a bad number. Obviously, Rumble did 260,000, so obviously
it's a much bigger show, isn't it?
Yeah, which is
a much bigger show.
Yeah, so that's understandable, but good for them for beating Survivor Series.
Oh, what a small... This is like... Put it this way, this is like a fast lane beating a Survivor Series now. So yeah. That's pretty impressive. I wouldn't have guessed that. Yes. There we are.
Survivor Series 95 did 125,000, and this show did 150. So get down to it. Let's get it out of the way. Get out of the way. I actually quite enjoy it.
We're not going to do that bit first. We're actually going to go through the old shows that leading up to it, I think. So
okay.
That's always the best way.
Good, go for it.
So the first one is a Superstars taking place on February the 10th. It was actually recorded, though, on January the 23rd. So the matches on this are the Ringmaster, which is Steve Austin, with Ted DiBiase defeated Fatu, which is Rikishi by referee's decision. So we're starting to get some of the more common names that we'll see going down the line on this. Tatanka with Ted DiBiase defeated Robert Thompson. I have no idea who that is. The 1-2-3 Kid with Ted DiBiase defeated Wayne Bradley, and Owen Hart with Jim Cornette defeated Aldo Montoya, who was just incredible.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully we see him on Raw, because I love Just Incredible. I don't know if we do or not. So the next show was February 17th, Superstars. Don't forget we have Mr. Raw, so that's why there's two in a row. Yokozuna defeated Billy Mack and JS Storm. Don't know who they are. Hunter Hearst Helmsley defeated Barry Horowitz. The Goblins with Hillbilly Jim defeated Joe Gomez and the Brooklyn Brawler. Justin Bradshaw, which is JBL with Zebekiah, which is Zeb Coulter, defeated Tim Patterson. Ahmed Johnson defeated the 1-2-3 Kid with Ted DiBiase by DQ. A dark WWF Intercontinental Championship match. The Undertaker defeated Goldust by countout. And Bret Hart defeated Desiel in a dark WWF World Heavyweight Championship Steel Cage match.
Damn, they gave away the actual pay-per-view main event on... I know it's a dark match and not airing on television, but that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, what they would do, I think, back in the day, I think they still did it until COVID era, actually. I think they would, on live events, do a practice run through of the match, just to make sure it's right for television. So I think that's what I've been doing there, just trying to make sure the quality was up to scratch, and surprise it wasn't. We'll go to that. Anyway, so the notes from Dave. So WWF's latest show was more a build to WrestleMania than standalone, which is fair enough. He felt while the show was generally received, I was in the minority on this one. Shawn Michaels and Owen Hart had an excellent match, but from a wrestling standpoint, it was a one-match show. Bret Hart and Diesel's main event cage match was terrible up until the creative ending, which we will go into here. Okay, Hart once again came out of the match devalued as a champion going into the biggest show of the year. This show was largely designed to set up Michaels' expected title win over Hart, so even he's seeing that, which is not quite obvious really, by giving Michaels a strong clean win over an established star. The Diesel versus Undertaker match and the Vader versus Yokozuna match, all three were well accomplished, but in doing so, two of the top three matches on the show itself suffered. And the show drew a legitimate sellout of 5,500 fans to the Garden, and the show did sell out a few days in advance, although not the weeks in advance sellout as was proclaimed during the event. So they're lying again, as per. And he says, there's only a couple of notes in this one really. With the exception of possibly Michaels, it appears the most overperforming on the show was Roddy Piper, which is I'll agree with. This is spoilers for the show, so I won't go into it, but I do agree that Piper was very over in this. And after the pay-per-view ended, Jake Roberts was talking about how he was addicted to alcohol and cocaine, and said that he was back in wrestling to glorify the Lord. He also said his snake is no longer named Damien, but is now named Revelation. Now, I don't know if we'll see that on TV or not, but Jake the Snake Roberts was far from becoming sober at this point, really, was he?
No, and everyone needs to check out it was on Netflix for a while, I don't know if it's on Prime now or whatever, but the Jake Roberts Resurrection documentary they did, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. One of the finest pieces of documentation that's been in a while. I absolutely loved that. Absolutely loved it. Everyone go check that out.
So before we start, I'm actually going to do the pre-show matches. So Jake Roberts defeated Tatanka with Ted DiBiase as the free-for-all match. Okay. With DDT in 5 minutes 36. Dave Meltzer said it was a dud, which, to be fair, I can actually picture that being a dud because of Jake Roberts at the time wasn't Jake Roberts of the 80s, let's be honest. No. And Vader and Jim Cornette said in an interview saying that Vader would get involved in the show. Actually, it was stronger than that. They teased that Vader would be added to the card at the last minute. This aired during the pre-game show in a match of sleazy last-second attempt to get buys, similar to what WCW did last year in making a last-second tease that a Hogan Vader match would be added to a pay-per-view show that neither was booked nor wrestled on. For all the legitimate complaints Vince McMahon makes about WCW, when it comes down to the core of things, he's guilty of a lot of them himself, which, again, I can also believe. But there we are.
So that was the pre-show. Did not check that out. Obviously, it was a free-for-all. It's not on the network, and it didn't kind of encourage. I wasn't encouraged or motivated in any way, shape, or form to go out of my way to check.
To watch an out of shape Jake Roberts wrestle Tatanka. No, I don't think I would have been either.
Maybe out of curiosity, but no, I definitely didn't. Right, so this is our first full-length non-Raw show produced by WWF. On the WCW side of things, there's already been the Clash of Champions 32 reviewed, as well as the Super Brawl 1996, so it's cool seeing it, and I want to put this over. Out of everything on this show, the epic video promo package to kick off the show, the guys who does the voiceover, he's a fucking legend. Like, he made me more pumped for this show than any Raw, SmackDown, NXT has, AEW, Dynamite, for any pay-per-view ever. Like, honestly, this guy is unreal. Like, I used to love it.
WWE pay-per-views. I mean, I think WWE are still the best in the world for.
Yeah, but I mean, if you watch, did you watch Takeover on Sunday? Sorry.
No.
Well, they did a rap.
Really
they did a rap. They did a rap. Like,
rap.
You don't want to, like, this guy, Joshua Williams or whatever his name is, to apologise. He did a Valentine's Day rap for Vengeance Day, and it was like, oh man, that didn't get me pumped, but this voiceover, it felt great, and it was so good. Like, normally they try and make it really cheesy and graphic. This was just straight up gold. I loved it. I was like, oh man, is this?
I think it'll be good for Mania.
Oh, it's gonna be great for Mania. Remember the old, like when we get into like 99, like especially the 99 Mania, when he had a classic Freddie Blassie in getting up off his wheelchair and walking and pushing the door. That was fucking awesome. But yeah, this video promo guy, I apologize, I do not know the guy's name. I tried finding it, but I couldn't. But this guy was fucking awesome. Best part of the show. Like generally, it was the best part of the show. But we had
there was one match. There was one match I really liked, but we'll go on to that. But yeah, I love that you love that. The production values for it. And before you move on, what did you think of the set?
I liked it. I'm a fan of the In Your House set. I like.
Yeah. First time we've seen it, isn't it? So
yeah,
it looks cool. I thought.
Yeah. I loved all the pay-per-view sets. I hate the fact they just have a fucking LED screen now that's all Raw, SmackDown, and then like everything. And they just changed the logo on the fucking LED. It's quite lazy, but we move. First match of the night, we had a crybaby match, which is a loser wears a diaper match of Razor Ramon and the 1-2-3 Kid. And you touched upon this earlier about the production quality, etc. I think we touched about this on one of the episodes of Raw that we've covered. I love how, even in this time period of 1996, everyone that comes out feels like a star, the way they're presented. They do a much better job than, and I'm a WCW boy at this point, do a much better job of making these guys feel like fucking stars. They did a really, really good job. But I'm praying to the heavens above I never have to watch a crybaby match ever again in my life. But the match itself was solid. There was, good fast-paced action, minus the 60-plus second sleeper hold after a couple of botches, which was just to kind of cool them down a little bit. Razor, though, kicked some powder into 1-2-3 Kid's face, which allowed Razor to hit the Razor's Edge, which got the win. He then poured milk over Kid, threw talcum powder over Ted DiBiase's face, and puts a fucking nappy on 1-2-3's Kid's face. Put a nappy.
You're not really selling this. You're not selling this powder. I don't think it was legitimately.
It was shit.
No.
He right. So he fucking put talcum powder all over him, and then him being 1-2-3 Kid. And then he put
the way you say it, the way you're saying it, it sounds like you're saying it like when Yokozuna does the salt. It wasn't anywhere as cool as that. It was legitimately like a squeezy bottle of baby nappy powder, a diaper, whatever you call it, powder in America, and it was legitimately like what you put on a baby's bottom before you put a nappy on him. I was say diaper, fucking hell, a nappy on him, and it was It was shit. It wasn't great.
It was shit.
Let's be honest.
And Ramon's there like shrugging, like, yeah, cool. And you can see why he's going to WCW at this point. Like, poor man. I mean, I gave it 2.25. I thought the match itself was solid, but I can't, without good faith, go above the 2.5. Because man, the story and the gimmick that was added to this match just took away from everything. Why did it have to be that? Like, if it's about crying, why don't you just do an I Quit match?
Well, Meltzer's gave it a 3. I'd actually give it less than that. I was quite bored during the match, really. Like, I expected... It's like angry parent again. I expected better from Razor Ramon and 1-2-3 Kid. Both are incredible talents. So if you watched them in some of the more quality matches that they had, they were good. Although to be fair, they did work well with the it's they're not the same size as well. They were Kids are obviously a lot smaller than Razor, so usually Razor's used to doing big man matches. So I thought that the way that the styles job was good, but the actual match itself, I could have done without seeing that basically.
Yeah, and it was quite sloppy in some parts, and there was like they were getting a bit sloppy. So Ramon 1-2-3 gets kind of like chilled it out into a sleeper spot. Like obviously they're going to talk about what they're going to do next, etc. But man, it just fucking dragged, and like you said there, it felt 10 minutes longer than it probably was, and it's a shame because if you put Ramon versus 1-2-3 Kid on a show, I'm going to be excited for it because I'm going to think it's a great match. Shawn Michaels, Scott Hall, 2 phenomenal wrestlers of their time. And, they go out here. They didn't have a stink. It was by no stretch of any imagination a stinker. I think it was just expectations were a lot higher than what they delivered. So
really? I didn't have any expectations because of the gimmick.
Yeah, but I expected the match to be good.
No, but I thought it was shenanigans, and it ended up being shenanigans, which, was what it was, really. It was, but the ending of it was terrible, let's be honest. The actual finish of the match wasn't great.
Yeah, that's fair. Just
When
touch wood.
When he threw the baby powder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just touch wood. We never, ever, ever, ever have to watch a crybaby match again until we get to WCW 2000, and then we get Viagra on a pole.
Oh yeah, okay.
Beautiful.
I think ECW will do some of that stuff, but I reckon when they do it in ECW, it'll actually be good. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think if ECW did this, it could be a bit more violent. And I don't think they'll ever put a nappy on. Like, if you're gonna like, obviously there's the stuff of Raven and Dreamer with the Singapore cane. We had to take however many whips. That's kind of loser.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That's something you can get behind. It's believable, and you join in on the ride. Whereas this was just so much level of cringe, and it's like you have two great wrestlers here. You could have literally just had an I Quit match. I could you're gonna cry. Well, I want to hear you say I quit. Boom, done. It's not fucking. And then they show some guy sweeping in the ring. That would never, ever, 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 ever happen in 2021 WWE. There is absolutely no way they'd ever.
You can use more graphics now, though. Let's be honest. So in 1996, you can use as many graphics. So
yeah, but they went to Howard. They went to Howard to do the in-ring introduction. There's just some dude sweeping the rings. Obviously, the talcum powder or whatever the powder it is.
Yeah, baby powder. Yeah. No, it wasn't. I would give this normally I would say watch it for continuity. Don't even watch this for continuity. Just skip it.
Yeah, just pretend it never happened. Speaking of pretending it never happened, we had Triple H against Duke the Dumpster. Obviously, we talked about this on Raw. I think it was the first show you joined 3 weeks ago. Triple H cut off the Dumpster's hair on Superstars.
I wasn't on that show, I don't think. Oh, on Superstars, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
we did, because we talked about it, didn't we?
It wasn't. We didn't actually see it. No, it was a montage, wasn't it? Yeah. No, you are right.
The match itself was nothing. Dumpster hit him with a trash can. No DQ. Apparently, ECW
really
style.
Really badly hit him with a trash can. I don't think he meant to do that. He just flung the lid at him.
Awful. And then Triple H nailed it with the can lid, which got the 3 count. I gave the match a star. I may have been generous.
A star and a half in Dave Meltzer, but yes, that's not a great star at all, really.
No, it was let's just pretend it never happened and move on. But there's nothing to break down. That's the thing. I hate shows like that. Like his little funny one.
I mean, there's something to break down. I think Duke the Dumpster Droese should go to bloody OVW or whatever it is they use. I don't think he should be on a main roster. He was terrible.
Yeah, so far from what I've seen. I mean, we've only seen one match, but I've not enjoyed that match.
No, he was not great, and he was. I mean, Paul Levesque is accomplished at this point, isn't he? So he should be having a better match than that.
I mean, you say established. He's in
WCW for years.
Oh yeah, true. But to the WWE eyes and the WWE audience.
No, but I mean, he's wrestled for years.
Oh yeah, so he should be doing better than that. Yeah, I agree. Roger that. And then we went to British Bulldog versus Yokozuna, and I've obviously the homework I'd been given from episode 12 where we reviewed the ECW.
You gave it yourself.
Well, I gave it to myself, but LK was naughty boy. He's going to get detention. He's going to have to sit through the crybaby match again. So every night before, like, literally, so I lay in bed, I'm like, right, what should I put on the TV? Because I've caught up on Snowpiercer. I'm all good on the Netflix, and I'm not really involved, if you will, in any series at the minute. So I was like, I'll check on that Yokozuna documentary. I must have watched the opening 10 minutes 2 or 3 times, but I just keep dozing and falling asleep.
It doesn't give you any anything about what the documentary is actually about, by the way. I'm not going to spoil it, but Yokozuna had basically the wrong type of career. He started off on top, and then he just went straight to the bottom. And yeah, it's really sad what happened to him. It's actually, I would recommend that you watch it, but don't watch it expecting to be happy at the end of it. It's actually quite sad. I mean, they do mention like a lot of good things about him, and it's a celebration of his life, but it was really tragic what happened to him. I don't know if you know much about what happened to him.
No, I don't. That's why I'm looking forward to it.
Watch it, but watch it with knowing that it's not going to end well.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the man passed, so I'm not expecting it to be a happy ending. But I'll I'll watch it. Hopefully tonight. There's nothing really I'm watching tonight, so I'll put it on tonight, and hopefully I don't fall asleep. But and that's not a knock on the documentary. It's just I'm fucking tired. I have long days, like long days and early starts. So
it's actually going to spoil a bit of 1996, by the way. But I'm not going to go into it. But yeah, don't expect. Don't just what I'm going to say is don't expect Yokozuna to be around for much longer. He'll be around for a couple of months. He'll be around for probably the most of this year, and then you'll never see him again.
That's
just thought I'd tell you. Yeah, it's really sad. I'm going to be honest. But yeah, this match, now that I've gone over this, has actually gone into some of the points which was in the documentary, so it's a bit where I'll have to sort of navigate it in a way that's not going to spoil it. But he is really slow, isn't he? And he's putting on a lot of weight, isn't he?
Yeah, he's getting big. He's getting really big,
like dangerously big. Yeah. And he's moving. He's not great in this match. It's actually quite sad to watch. I'm sorry for bringing the mood down, by the way. You'll get it when you see the documentary. But yeah, I hope that he does have another couple of classics, and I hope he does get in a tag team or something, because he does need someone to bounce off. He's a good attraction, isn't he? But he's not. He's got no conditions. He's got no conditioning, and he can't really do a match at this point. He's past it.
Poor man. Looking forward to watching that documentary. So the match has taken place. This match being Bulldog and Yokozuna, because Yokozuna left Cornette camp and turned babyface on Raw on the latest episode of Raw to this point. But the crowd, they're behind Yoko, and for a guy his size, he still did bump a few times in this one, which is all credit due, which is good for him. And then the match at the end, Cornette just comes in and nails Yokozuna with a tennis racket on the back a load of times, which Yokozuna no-sells as he should, causing a DQ. And then Vader came out, and we haven't seen him on the TV.
Ooh, he's impressive, isn't he?
He's a machine. He is a machine. I agree. I'm a huge fan of Vader. He's got mega heat after the attacking the president at the time, Gorilla Monsoon. And shout out to you guys who sent get well wishes to Gorilla Monsoon in PO Box. But even because there's so much heat on Vader, when Yoko got some strikes in, it was some really big pops. But then the refs and agents come out as Yokozuna's handcuffed. I didn't give the match itself a rating because it didn't go long enough. But
1 star in the Observer.
That's fair. I think that's very fair. He isn't nasty on Yokozuna, is he?
No, he just said he's got no condition. He can't do a singles match, which is true.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. But yeah, I'm actually curious now. Very curious for Yokozuna versus Vader. Cause obviously
that'll be good. If Vader can carry it, hopefully Vader can. Because Vader's what Yokozuna was 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, and
not 2-3 years ago. Know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I'm looking forward to seeing Vader here, and I'm looking forward to seeing him and how they build him, because I'm very surprised with how he's been portrayed and built so far in obviously watching in chronological order, that he doesn't go on to become world champion. Like,
do you know this is probably one of the first Vader promos as well?
Yeah, it's
not Vader, one of the first Yokozuna promos, I mean.
Fucking hell, yeah. I mean, I haven't watched lots of 95, 94, 93, 92, so I can't really comment, but yeah, I didn't.
Well, he used to be Japanese, didn't he? He used to have Mr. Fuji, and then he went from Mr. Fuji to Jim Cornette. So this is really the first time that he's been on his own. I think he was a good promo.
Yeah, this is a solid promo. But yeah, it's kind of nothing really to break down apart from build up a match at WrestleMania, which is all fair game. And this show, by the way, guys, was only an hour and 50 minutes long, which is a big one for me, which I was a big fan of. I was kind of cringing at the idea of a 3-hour show with matches that, are not really doing it for me. So I'm glad the show was only an hour and 50. Going to be the length of what Raw becomes. Raw becomes at 2 hours soon, so I wonder if they're going to fucking move these shows to 3 hours long, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But then we had the number one contenders match for the WWF Championship at WrestleMania 12, Shawn Michaels versus Owen Hart.
So good.
This was good. So the match is taking place as Shawn Michaels wanted to fight Owen Hart because he injured him before, because he took some time off and returned at the Rumble. Obviously, Shawn Michaels put up his WrestleMania title match, which he won at the Royal Rumble, on the line here so he could get Owen Hart. Now, Shawn Michaels' entrance on the roof, I loved it. I thought it was fucking cool, man. Like, it's...
And he was dancing, yeah.
Yeah, he was dancing on the top of the in your house, as in the actual house, which I thought was really cool. Pyro's going off. It's all well and dandy. And fucking he does quite a crazy jump off that fucking thing, man. He kind of has like a... What's it called? A zip wire type thing, but he still has to let go.
A rope. I'm not correcting you, but like it was like he was holding onto the rope. It wasn't like he was connected to anything. He was swinging like blimmin' George of the Jungle, Tarzan kind of shit.
Yeah, and he jumped off, and it was quite a landing. Yeah, he had quite a long way down. Like, that's some fucking dangerous shit. Like, fuck, he's all right. He then kisses a girl in the crowd who loses her fucking shit. That would not be allowed in 2021. No way. There was a nice dive to the floor. These guys have great chemistry. I love the counter sequence which ended in a double kip up. That was really cool. And when Owen applied the sharpshooter, even though you know Shawn Michaels is wrestling Owen Hart at WrestleMania, the hold is so established. It got me. I was like proper emotion invested in the match to the point I was like, oh, is Owen going to do it? Oh, wait. It's Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, for fuck's sake. What am I talking about? But yeah, this was good. Crowd behind Shawn Michaels a lot. There was no...
Made you excited for Mania, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did. It did, 100%. And there was no cheering for the cool, great wrestler and Owen Hart. He got heat, which is great. And back and forth in the end until Michaels hit the sweet chin music out of nowhere to get the win. He danced in the ring with some little kid. Magic. I gave 3.5. Highly rate it. And
again, similar to Meltzer's is 4. I would actually give it 4 as well. I think it was really good. I think this is... I think we've had 2 match of the year contenders this weekend. We had Sabu and what you call it?
Sabu and Scorpio. I want everyone.
And this and Owen Hart. Now this is going to be quite difficult now because I thought, oh no, I'm not going to look like as much match as I did that one, and then this came along and I was like, no, actually I do. This is really good as well. So
it was good. It was really good. And I just I really want to put over Owen Hart here in this one, because if this was 2021, he would have been getting cheered because he's such a great wrestler. But he done such a great job in getting heat, and Cornette also ringside does help a lot. But he just did such a great job.
He's a sniveling little bastard, don't he? You just want to hate him.
You do. He's such a good character, man. And I'll obviously when we get to it, we'll get to it, and we'll talk about the past. And when we get to
we'll have some very difficult conversations in 1999 as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Let's just enjoy these 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, let's just have some great memories, because it's imagine the fucking matches that we could have got. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, great job Owen Hart, great job Shawn Michaels. This was... I don't think it helped if we watched this without seeing Scorpio Sky and Sabu. I think I may have enjoyed it a bit more, giving it 4.5. But man, I want everyone to go out of their way and watch Scorpio Sky versus Sabu from ECW Cyber Slam 96, because that's the VIP match so far. In my opinion, that's the best match we've seen in this series.
I agree, but this was a very close second.
I agree, and I think somewhere we should take note of the top 5 rated matches we've given. I think maybe on a piece of paper.
I think we should just do an award show. Best wrestler, best promotion, best feud, that kind of thing. We'll do it at the end of the year, I think. So that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, definitely plan. Then we went to, as they were setting up the cage, a Roddy Piper promo on the ramp.
This was good as well.
This was very good. Piper's the president at this point. In his promo, he says, "I don't think Michael Jackson is innocent, and I don't fear the boogeyman." And I don't know what the fuck's going on at the time. What the fuck was Michael Jackson being accused of in 1996?
What he was accused of in 2019.
Okay.
The Neverland Ranch shit was coming out. So he was trying to be edgy. But it popped me.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't... this is a very, very fun LK fact. Okay, now this one is we're going to go deep and dive deep into this one. So... I had never so when Jackson passed, I think I would have been about 12, 13. Up until this point, now I'm a big fan of Queen, Bon Jovi, Guns N' Roses, 80s.
Classic rock stuff, basically.
Yeah, Yeah, and Michael Jackson may not be rock, but he's still kind of from that era. That
Yeah, he's
time
got
period.
he's got Van Halen. He's got Eddie Van Halen on a track, hasn't he?
Yeah, so like kind of I'd expect that, but I had never, ever, in my whole life, up until the day he died. And this is not a knock.
There's literally a South Park episode on it.
Yeah, but I didn't watch South Park when I was 12. I
did.
Well, sorry, I wasn't as cool as you, bro. I was not the cool hipster. I was not allowed to watch the South Park.
I used to pretend it was a kid's cartoon.
Well, my mum knew South Park, watched South Park, and had it on videos that I was not allowed to watch. I was lucky to get The Simpsons on at 6 p.m. on Channel 4. But fucking shout out, actually, I used to love fucking Simpsons at 6 p.m. Anyway, I'd never heard a Michael Jackson song, and the first time I saw him, this is going way off topic, but it's just a funny story. The first time I saw him, it was obviously the hearing he's passed, and my grandparents used to get the paper, the Sun newspaper, which they still do every single day when they walk the dog in the morning. I remember being around there.
Not a fan of the Sun, but let's carry on.
See, what's that?
I said I'm not a fan of the Sun, but let's carry on.
Yeah, and the Sun, everyone, if you're listening in America, is a daily newspaper. It's kind of sold all around the UK.
known for being in the north as being anti-Liverpool, but let's carry on.
Yep, we'll move.
Sorry about that little
right. So I remember picking up the paper and being like really scared, and I remember saying like, "Nan, who the fuck is this? This gay man?" And honestly, it was all over the news. And I remember when I stayed at my grandparents, I was 12, 13. My bedtime was normally 9ish, but when I used to go around there, I'd stay up and would watch like an old school show where it would be Agatha Christie's Poirot or Sherlock Holmes or whatever from 9 to 10. So I remember watching Poirot on ITV3 9 to 10, and then they turned on the ITV News, and he was there. And for the next, I'd say 3 to 4 months, I generally have nightmares of Michael Jackson, to the point to this day, being 23 years of age, I am still scared of Michael Jackson, to the point where when my mum and dad want to wind me up, they saved the fucking newspaper from when he passed, and they'll put it around the house. They've put up a Michael Jackson face mask in my room to scare the shit out of me at one point. The girlfriend sends me Michael Jackson videos. It's on TikTok. It is the running gig of like when I'm out and a Michael Jackson's, like say I'm in town and we're in, like for example, one of the big clubs I have is it's called well, I'm not going to give the name in case people listening there, and I don't want to get fucking battered. It's like 3 rooms. There's a main room, a basement, and kind of a old school one. And I
think what me and you had was very similar actually. So I'm gonna, you can carry on. It's not gonna interject too much, but fuck this person for what he's done. Absolutely fuck this person for what he's done. But I had the same thing with Marilyn Manson when I was growing up. Like I used to, but the thing is with you and me, I think this is where I'm different. I saw bands like Slipknot, bands like Korn, and I was like, this scares the shit out of me, but I want to get more involved. I think you had the option of, this scares me, let's get as far away from this. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's kind of one of those. Yeah, it's just a funny one. Like if we're in a nightclub and his song comes on, everyone just kind of like looks at me, and I'm just like, oh my god! And I don't know the lyrics because I'm too scared of watching his music videos. Still to this day, it's such a weird thing being so petrified. And like when people ask me like, "What's your phobia?" And I say I don't like snakes, but like when it comes to stuff that I'm actually afraid of. Like if someone sends me like a ghost video of Michael Jackson, I will literally fucking shit myself. Just
shit
myself.
Does shit like what I listen to, like Slipknot, and that bother you then?
No, I like Slipknot. My music taste is very.
No, I get that, but they're a lot more like evil and.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Sinister than Michael Jackson. Right, fair enough.
It's his face and the way he talks that scares the fuck out of me, especially when he had the mustache. Good fucking grief.
Yeah.
Fucking looking
let's
into.
Move on,
let's move on I have a fucking panic attack.
Michael Jackson creeps me out, but it's for different reasons than you. I think he's a bit of a wrong'un.
Yeah, because I didn't obviously delve into what actually happened, because it's not that I don't want to know. Obviously, I've seen and heard lots of stuff, but the guy just scares the shit out of me. But yeah, music taste. I have Slipknot on my Spotify on repeat. The top like 25 songs you've got. I've got Unsainted and Duality in there at the minute.
which is
love these sorts.
NXT's. No, All Out Life's on NXT, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
like
Well, put it this way. This is why I'm glad we're doing 90s, because I've linked you so many videos of like Kiss and Megadeth and shit doing WCW concerts. I cannot wait until that comes up. It's gonna be so good. But anyway, we'll move on. We're only chatting because we're trying to avoid talking about this dumpster fire of a main event.
Yeah, we are. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to kind of avoid talking about it. Anyway, so Piper promotes Shawn Michaels versus the winner of the legendary cage match main event at WrestleMania 12. Piper calls Vader an inbred and Yokozuna being dumb for being 640 pounds and being trapped. He announces Vader versus Yokozuna at Mania, which is cool. Cornette comes out, cuts a great promo as always about Vader being back. Says no one's going to take him out. Blah, blah, blah. And then Piper says if Vader loses at Mania, Cornette's going to be fired. Magic. Magic. Fierce. I'm looking forward to it.
Gives you a reason to watch. I think Mania... Here's the point. We know more about what's going to happen on that WrestleMania than we do about this one.
Yeah, but at this point, Elimination Chamber hasn't took place yet. So I think after Chamber, we'll be more in the know of what's going on.
Right, I was just saying that they've booked stories a lot better then than they have now.
Oh, yeah, they're trying to be unpredictable, but it's making it... They try so hard to be unpredictable, it makes it predictable because you know what they're going to do. It's really weird, if you watch that WWE as a casual fan, you're like, oh, I have no idea what's going to go on. But if you watch it as like a wrestling fan, they're trying to swerve you by doing something, but you know that they're going to try and swerve you. So you kind of like, oh,
That's just why you stop watching, to be honest.
Yeah. It's like,
which is kind of what I've done. Yeah, let's be honest. Which is why we're talking about 1996.
Absolutely.
Anyway, this main event is... You do the intro for this one, because this is... I just want to just get this over with at this point, this main event.
So we had the steel cage match for the WWF Championship, Bret Hart defending against Desiel. And, heading in watching this live, imagining watching this live at the time, Desiel versus Shawn Michaels is a match that has history, but also Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels is, they're both equally big matches. So you kind of don't know who's going to win. I love the blue cage, but it is a bit small. Diesel's hand in the air is the same height as the top of the cage. But this was just a classic old school WWF main event pacing. It was really slow. Nothing happened. Hart works the leg of Desiel because obviously the amount of surgeries Kevin Nash has had. Looks like this, I'll just skip to the finish because nothing happened. Nothing.
They had a couple of headlocks. Don't forget the headlocks.
So basically, it looked like Desiel was going to escape. Taker comes from under the ring, as in comes up from under the ring, which is really cool. Pulls Desiel underneath the ring. Smoke comes up. Hart escapes, wins the match. Desiel then gets out, runs out.
You're making this sound better than it was.
This bit was good. This bit
was good. This bit was good, but you had to sit. Right.
You had to sit through 15 minutes of shit.
15 minutes of shite to get to that. Yes. But yes, this ending was brilliant, and Undertaker is a hell of a presence, isn't he? At this point.
Yeah, he's magic. And then the visual of Taker standing on top of the cage and Desiel running away on the ramp was great. Great way to end the show. But yeah, I'm still sticking with my tie after kind of reanalyzing everything and going through it all again. I can't, with a good heart, give it any more than a tie. You had the really fun promo of Piper. You had Michaels and Owen Hart delivering a really, really good match. But the main event to me let it down. If you had a solid, really good main event, and I expected better between Bret Hart and Desiel. I expected a lot better because I respect both.
I know Desiel. He apparently in 1995 was one of the worst times for WWF when he was champion. So I heard stories about Desiel enough to make me. I want to give him a chance. I still want to give him a chance, and I'm excited to see him in NWO. But I knew him here wouldn't be brilliant, and I was kind of proved right, which I don't like saying, but.
It just nothing happened, man, in the match. It was just kind of imagine if that wasn't a cage match. I think it'd be even worse because you wouldn't have had the cage throw-ins.
Before we finish, do you want me to read the dark matches that happened after this? This is how the show ended.
Go on.
So the Godwins defeated the Body Donners.
Oh.
Ahmed Johnson defeated Isaac Yankum DDS, and to end the show, The Undertaker defeated Goldust by count out for the Intercontinental Championship.
So he didn't win the belt obviously because it was count out.
Yes, he won by count out. That is
Okay.
that is the main event that you would have seen if you were there live. That sounds abysmal. I am
Terrible.
sorry.
That is terrible. I agree. They could have had brawling with Diesel though. They could have brawled all around the building.
Exactly. They could
Possibly.
have.
They might
could
have.
have.
They might have. They might have.
Hopefully, but I don't know. I put it this way: I wouldn't be sticking around for those. I mean, I would because of paid tickets, but if I hadn't had paid tickets, I would not be staying in that arena for that. I would be getting an early train back. That is not worth me staying.
What did Dave give the main event? I gave it a 1.5 stars.
At the main event, yeah, bear with me, because I have just closed the thing. That we were on.
Apologies. It just rattled my mind. What on earth Dave thought about this match?
It's all right. I'm just gonna scroll because it's not gonna take me long. 1.5 stars.
Okay, me and Uncle Davey Boy, the same mindset as always, which depresses me a lot. I need to change how I view wrestling. But yeah, that has it. Please, no one go back and check this show out apart from the Owen Hart Shawn Michaels match.
Watch the Owen Hart Shawn Michaels match.
Yeah, and literally nothing else. Nothing else. Please don't watch anything else because it was terrible. We'll be back Sunday.
Am I doing the next shows?
Oh, yeah.
Reading out the cards.
Can you give me the preview for have you got the Nitro up as well?
I have, yes. So what's the show we're doing next? Nitro?
Yep, so we're going to be doing Nitro will be episode 14, which will be uploaded Sunday, and episode 15 will be Raw from the 19th of February, both respectively, which will be episode 15, also uploaded on Sunday.
Beautiful. It's the same day, so regardless of how you listen to it, I would actually recommend listening to 15 and 14 because I like watching the shows after the pay-per-view, but that's just my recommendation. So the matches for WCW are Arn Anderson with Woman versus Hulk Hogan again, which sounds good. Loch Ness with Jimmy Hart versus Alex Wright, which can get in the pin. Mm-hmm. The Belfast Bruiser versus
Stop. You're banned. If get in the bin is a phrase that part of your lingo, you're gonna have to drop it. I will never forget. It's a phrase that is benched from anywhere in that I'm around. Anyone I'm around. Long story short, a guy did something dirty and then told me get in the bin. So it brings up old wounds. You're hurting me here, son. See, get in the bin is benched and banned.
That's blacklisted. That's fine. We will not say that phrase. I do say it in my private life, but there
I'll
we
say
are.
it in your private life all you fucking want. Don't be like, oh well, okay, said I can't say it, so I'm not allowed to say it.
I'll be good. The next match is the Belfast Bruiser versus Brad Armstrong, which sounds sick. And Ric Flair with Miss Elizabeth and Woman versus Randy Savage for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, which sounds like it could be good, but it also sounds like it could have a false finish as well. If we know WCW at this point.
Hey, that better not be knocking my WCW over there. I have high hopes and high faith that in our 8th WCW World Title match out of 8 shows, they do too many World Title matches. But what's Raw got? What's Raw got to offer?
So we've got Intercontinental Championship Goldust versus Razor Ramon, which sounds great. Yeah. The Ringmaster, which is Steve Austin, with Ted DiBiase versus Marty Jannetty. I didn't know Marty Jannetty was still on the roster at this point, but apparently he is. And Tatanka with Ted DiBiase versus The Undertaker with Paul Bearer, which sounds sick as well. That sounds good.
Yeah, on the road to WrestleMania, and there'll obviously be some promos in there, so that's all good, and it'll be from a different venue. I don't want to see that fucking venue again.
Definitely. And before we start doing that, I'm not going to read the card, but don't forget we have got an ECW event on the 23rd of Feb as well. Just another night, it's called. So that's going to be the next 3 shows.
Wicked. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and smash the subscribe button. Share, follow, do your business. Looking forward to doing those 2 episodes. Tomorrow on the SOS Wrestling Network, I'm going to do what must be done. I'm going to be previewing the Elimination Chamber, and then Sunday night I'm going to review the Elimination Chamber. I'm going to give it a go. Hopefully the viewership is good. If it's not, I won't have to watch it and not feel bad about it. So with that in mind, thank you guys for watching. As always, it is your favourite series as well as ours. Follow along, watch those Raws and Nitros on the network. Stay safe, stay well. We'll be catching your asses down the line.